Okay, so the Broncos Fracas, which involved Adam Reynolds and Pat Carrigan.
Sorry, isn't it fracas?
Yeah.
Isn't the S silent?
Yeah, it's a silent S.
Is it?
Yeah. I wasn't au fait with Fracas,
No.
Brian.
Okay. Play on.
Look, disclaimer, and many of our listeners may be in the same boat. Brian, we've grown up, and it doesn't mean it's right, but in a very, very different upbringing where we're probably more tolerant of such behaviour.
Yes.
Doesn't make it right.
It doesn't, but it is very hard to change habits for us in our thinking.
Yes.
I know where you're coming from.
Yes. So for us, it's like, really, we're still going on with this for 3 days? But I do understand, I'm open-minded about, there's a big bad world out there. Kevin Walter's the coach. He was on breakfast with Pat and Hills this morning to chat about the incident. Here's what the coach had to say.
Well, the two players were all part of the group, myself, Dave Donaghy, and the two players. And Steele Talon, who's our media person, or head of communications, it was all decided that we just got to get in front of it. And the boys were happy to do that. They're happy to own what they've done. And so we thought that was the best idea, rather than trying to hide behind it. Just get out in front of it and let's get on with things. Yeah.
Tricky for Kevy too, Brian, because he grew up in a similar vintage to us.
Yeah.
And things were very, very different then compared to now. So here's what he had to say about the drinking culture at the Broncos and how it compared back to when Kevy was donning the jersey of the Broncos.
As far as the drinking culture in rugby league now, it's very... times have changed so much, and they've had to, because the players now, if they do, have a drink, it just puts them behind their training, because back in the day, when we were playing, most teams, had a beer after games, the like, regardless of, there was no shorter turnarounds with matching and scheduling. So, but today, sometimes there's 5 and 6 day turnarounds, and these players really want to look after themselves and after their body, because that's their tool to get them. The better they look after themselves, the longer they can stay in the game as such. Right. So they're very good.
Well, there you go, Brian. He didn't hold back, though. Like he's been very measured in how he's approached things, but here's what he had to say about the players themselves.
These guys are great representatives of our game. Whoever that caller was or person was, tell them to drop down to the Broncos fan day and see what the players are doing amongst the community with our fans. I sat next to Ezra Mam signing for about an hour, and the way, for a 21-year-old kid, and the way he handled the situation with lots of different people and cultures, it was amazing how good he made people feel after signing their jersey or a card or getting a photo. He's very welcoming and understanding, and whether it was a 70-year-old woman or a 5-year-old boy or girl, he was tremendous with them. And all of our guys are like that. It was great feedback from everyone on the day. On Sunday, it's just they're good people, and that's why they've been pretty successful the last couple of years, because they work hard, they train hard, and they play hard, and that's what it's about.
Well, the thing is, and he said something there. This was their week off. This was probably their only week off, and I can imagine what Kevy had said. He said, "Righto, well, we're leaving for Vegas next week. This is our last free weekend. Go and enjoy yourselves, boys." Unfortunately, they've probably gone a little bit too hard. And the reason probably is because they can't handle their alcohol because they're not drinking.
Yes.
During the season, they definitely don't drink. During the off-season, they might have a beer. They probably just got a little bit carried away with it on Friday night.
Yes.
As soon as you hear, righto, boys, as soon as you hear the coach go, you're allowed to drink, you just get too excited.
Yep.
It's just like when on a Friday afternoon, you've knocked off work.
Yeah.
And you're frothing for that beer.
What is it about the Friday?
Oh, it's just the best.
Isn't it?
Because you've worked so hard during the week, and Friday comes around and you just get excited.
Light at the end of the tunnel. Young families driving out to Wagga as we speak, Brian, and Chloe, a young Sharks fan.
Yes.
Sharks 10G, she calls Matty Rogers. 10 out of 10 for greatness. Sharks 10G. And Chloe says, can we get some more Sharks on? Well, speaking about Matty Rogers, Chloe, the great Matty Rogers chimed into the back line when it came to the situation with the Broncos.
I mean, there was nothing. There's nothing to go on about. It was a little fracas between a couple of mates. No one was involved. No one else was involved. Just leave it alone and let's move on. I mean, people carrying on like, these guys, my kids have to. So, mate, if your kids If your kids are watching the news and seeing that, or on social media seeing that, and that influences them, then you need to get better at parenting. Okay, there's a little bit too much alcohol. Yep. All right, let's stop drinking for a while, boys. But these guys have been training their butt off for the last 10 weeks, gearing up for a season that's about to start. They're so amped up. They're belting the crap out of each other at training. A little thing goes astray. No one got hurt. Leave it alone. Let's move on and let these guys worry about football.
Yes, there you go. So, Chloe, hope you enjoyed that, and tell Bodge to start writing the speech. Brian, I said at the top of this, we come from a different background to probably most people,
yes.
Right? And I don't concur. I don't agree with it. Matty Rogers is with us. He's got the similar sentiment to us.
Well,
I understand
we
that.
are ex-footballers, so it's very hard. Look,
I understand it, but
okay.
I think we're in the wrong these days, Brian.
Absolutely, and it is. I've been in that situation before.
Yep.
I have been in that situation before when I've been playing, and you get the green light and you get on the drink and you're
Yep.
wrestling with blokes and you're oblivious to it.
Yep.
But the thing that I can see from the public, people are going, these blokes are spoiled. They're getting paid a lot of money.
Yep. It is a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
Yeah.
If you're gonna have it, if you're a young NRL player and you want to go and have a beer, you've got to do it in a safe space.
Yep.
At your mate's house,
Yep.
where you're out of the public. And
Yep.
unfortunately, this is what's going to happen. I remember the Dallas Cowboys, when they were flying in the 90s,
Yep.
they had a place called the White House, which was a place out in Dallas. It was a big joint.
Yep.
And who's the owner? Is it Jones?
Yeah, Jerry Jones.
He basically said, you're not going out in the public. You're going to go and have a beer by yourselves in this place.
Control conditions,
and-
security.
And it was played out in Entourage a little bit.
Was it?
Yeah. And not Entourage, Ballers.
Oh, really?
Ballers, yeah, they sort of played on that. The problem then is the public don't get to socialise with these players because they're too worried about going and have a beer.
I know. It's really hard, Brian, isn't it?
Well, they are young men, but I suppose they've just got to be taught, and they do a lot of education.
Yeah.
But you're getting paid a lot of money now. That's the thing.
I tell you what, and Matty Rogers is one of the great knockabout genuine people. If he's not having conspiracy theories, Brian.
Yeah, all believing in aliens.
Believing in aliens. But where I do agree with him is, so I have come around against him as far as I think we just can't dismiss this stuff these days. But where I do agree with him is if you're a parent claiming that these guys are influencing how your child might grow up, I don't get around that.
You can't. No, I've been in this argument before. That's terrible parenting.
Yep.
They look up. Sure, they want to be rugby league players.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're the parent. You've got to look after your kids.
Yep.
You're with your kids 24/7.
Yep.
If they're listening to, if they want to be role models for kids, you got to look. It's them. Not.
There's a mirror. You're the parent. That's
yeah.
whole as bowls. I take full responsibility, good and bad, of how my children present themselves.
And Adam Reynolds has never been in trouble.
No.
Paddy Carrigan does a lot of things for. I think these two are an example. Just saying, right? Well, yes, they're going to get fined.
Yep.
I've got no doubt they'll get a fine.
And you know what? It'll be in the tens of thousands.
It'll be. I'm going to say 20 and 10 will be suspended.
Yeah. So for people who are having a crack at them, imagine if somebody said, "Hey, you've just got a $20,000 fine." And your answer's probably going to be, yeah, but they're earning 800, 900, whatever it is. But that's irrelevant.
It's going to charity too. It goes all those fines
I get
go
all
to
that.
charity.
I get all that. But I mean, really, is something like that? Like that's what they'll cop, and they will cop it. Is that really worth $20,000?
No, but it is in the sense of what
Correct.
they've done to
Correct.
the game.
I'm arguing with myself.
You're
Which means
arguing
we need to
yourself.
take a break. Well done to Kevy Walters too. Well done to how the Broncos have handled it. They are a class act, which probably explains what they're doing. Just before we go to the break, transfer watch. The Bulldogs have a battle now to retain Max King. King and his management will talk with the Bulldogs in the lead up to season opener. The former Titan Storm middle, he's off contract. He's well loved too. Like I think both the Titans and the Storm would take him back. They lost Thompson. Did they lose Thompson? He unfortunately couldn't really participate in all of the action. They've picked up Liam Knight late last season. Curran and Sutton off contract. Be interesting to see how Sutton, whether he finishes at the Bulldogs this year. That's for 2024. Leilua meets with the Dragons today, Brian. So they would have to demote a player from the top 30. I was hearing that Corey Allen.
Well, he's done his knee.
Yeah, but
so they'll pay him out. So it's still in the salary cap.
Okay, so you can demote him from the 30,
But you've got to pay him.
but you've got to pay him out.
And their money and his money. Unless he retires. You don't have
Medically.
to medically retire. But I wouldn't imagine that's going to happen.
Okay.
They've got to pay him out. You can't do funny buggers.
No, but they can legally get him off the 30, which I think that's fair enough, really. I don't think the club. You know what?
How many years did he sign for, Brooks? 2, 1? You're a Dragons man, Corey Allen. Oh, I'm going to say it was a 1-year deal. So
Can I just say in the fair dinkum stakes, why should a club have to do this? Like, if a player has been nominated, this guy's out for the year.
They're the rules, though, because you still got to pay the kid.
I know that, Brian, but I'm just saying,
please don't talk about 5 minutes to go in a game either.
run home with Joel and Fletch.
Oh, the coral.